Anyway, I'm going to get your next act up. Can we have a big cheer for Steve Reeve, please?
I've got to be honest, I thought I would have started before after room fucked off. Okay, so I haven't done this before. Not at all. I was originally due to do it in December 2020 here. I can't remember exactly why, but they had to shut the pub at short notice, and they had some go with the cough and the cold, what have you. So in the end, I thought, right, I want to have a go at this. So I got it sorted out with Dan earlier in the year. I got some material together. All fine until last Friday. Because last Friday, the United States Supreme Court, as I'm sure you're aware, overturned a 50-year federal law which basically made it illegal for women to have abortions in 13 states, and another 13 are going to follow quickly. Now that in itself is nuts. But the reason that they did that, so they say, is that it should be down to the individual to be able to make that choice. Power to the people and all that stuff. So what they said was, we will kick that back to the states. The individual states can make the decision. Well, if you follow that to its logical conclusion, the states would then pass that down to the counties would then pass that down to the boroughs would pass that down to the cities would pass it down to individual streets, and then the individual streets would say, well, might as well let each house make up their own mind, haven't they? Now, they don't do that, and that's not the worst of what they did, because on the same day, they also, in the Supreme Court, different judges, said that they were going to overturn a rule in New York State where people can't carry a concealed weapon. And what they said was, it was important enough that they wanted to consider that at a federal level. What they did with those two judgments is basically say that it's more important for someone to have the right to choose to carry a concealed gun than it is for a woman to have the right to choose whether or not to carry a baby. And that's fucked up. And it's fucked up because of the Second Amendment. What's the Second Amendment of the United States? The right to bear arms. Except they don't say it like that, they say it like this. It's the right to bear arms, it's the right to bear arms. You can't take away our right to bear arms, can you? It's in the amendment. Now the trouble is, the right to bear arms is so powerful, and there's so much money behind it. But I've been thinking, what if it was just a mistake? Because they did this in 1789, and they put all sorts of amendments in. What if they were really, when they put in the right to bear arms, just trying to legislate that all Americans will be able to wear those little T-shirts without any sleeves on them? Go back and check the spelling. Education wasn't fucking great back then, alright? Excuse me. Now, the support for all of this is primarily driven by white middle-aged men. White middle-aged men going through a crisis, and also money. But let's look at the white middle-aged men first, yeah? What do you do if you have a midlife crisis in the UK? You buy some shit loafers, sports car, pastel clothes, and hopefully start banging girls about 15 years younger, yeah? However, by definition, loafers, pastel clothes, most unlikely, all right? So, Americans, however, because they're American, but is there any Americans in? Fuck for that. For the Americans, obviously, look, everything's bigger and better in America. So whereas over here, we can lose our inhibitions and lose our midlife crisis by buying a sports car and some shitty clothing, over there, they need to stand behind a semi-automatic weapon. Now, the money side of things, I think I might have got my head around and how I can help out. Because there is so much money that's going into the gun lobby in America that the anti-gun lobby can't keep up. But I think I've got an idea for them. First time I went to America, 8 o'clock in the morning, day after we arrived, stick the telly on, just want to have a look at the local news, start to get a feel for what's going on. And it almost immediately went to a break. And that break was a picture of a middle-aged couple with a soundtrack that went something like, "Are you not able to fulfill your partner in the way that you used to do? Do you not have the full loving relationship that you had in the past? Speak to your physician, ask him to prescribe you Cialis. Now, I was quite shocked because Cialis apparently is the brand of Viagra in America, or at least it does the similar thing. And I'd not got used to the fact, and hadn't experienced before, the fact that pharmacists would market directly to consumers. Now, that's standard procedure over there. So I think there's a way in which the anti-gun lobby can make the most of that if they team up with the pharmaceutical companies. And I've got them an advert. I've thought about this advert that they could actually make, all right? So I'm going to need to get you to use your imagination now. I want you to imagine the advert is going to start with a huge, hairy American, not necessarily ginger, definitely with a beard, bloody great big lumberjack shirt, and he's going out hunting for the day. So he's picking his rifle up and he's saying, "Honey, I'm off. I'll be back with food later." So he goes out and he gets, you know those massive trucks they have? So he gets into his massive truck, sits down, grabs a can of Bud Light, opens the Bud Light, starts driving away. 6 o'clock in the morning. Picks his mate up. Now his mate has got one of those white t-shirt, white singlet tops, yeah, no, because he's like, I know what the Constitution really should be. Fuck you, I'm bearing arms and I'm bearing arms. And off they go, and they go and start shooting stuff. Unfortunately, not each other. Now I have to say I'm anti-gun, but I'd be really if a gun owner killed another gun owner, because you get two little fuckers in one go, don't you? But no, he'll come home, he'll drop his mate off on the way back, he'll come home, they've shot deer and been manly and done manly things together, and he'll pull up on his drive, he'll have to get out of his thing, walk around the back, pick up his rifle, stick the deer over his head, walk through the door and go, "Honey, I'm back and I bought meat." And she'll look at him, bear in mind this is the advert, this isn't real life. She'll look at him with a look of lust and just say, "I've never fancied you as much as I have now. Right now, take me upstairs." And then it'll cut to a shot of them walking upstairs. Then very simply we'll put on there 10 minutes later. And the shot 10 minutes later is going to be him sat on the edge of the bed. This is me pretending there's a bed and not shitting. Okay? And all you can hear is the female voice going, "It's okay, honey. This happens to all men at some time or another. We'll try again later." And then they can pause it, and then the voiceover can come in. Gentlemen, nothing screams erectile dysfunction as loud as a semi-automatic weapon. If you have a semi-automatic weapon, please ask your doctor to prescribe you Cialis. In that one moment, if they could get that to stick, every American guy when he goes to pick up his gun is going to be thinking, if I walk out, they're going to think I can't get it up. And I think I kind of know which route they're then going to go down. Now, the thing is, it's not just guys, it's not just middle-aged white guys that have been fucking around with the gun stuff. When you remember the Uvalde shooter? I promise this gets lighter. You know the Uvalde shooter, right? There was a former press secretary of Donald Trump, and I shit you not, on the day of the Uvalde shooting, because they knew that the Wade versus Roe verdict was due soon, she is on video, you can find it if you go and look on the Wibbly Wobbly World, and she was filmed saying, as a Republican Party, we will keep children as safe in the womb as they are in the classroom. What the fuck? Seriously? And she believes this shit. Now the trouble is, she was actually Donald Trump's press secretary. I don't remember her name. Her name is Sarah Saunders, except she had a middle name as well. Can any of you remember that? Huckabee. Her name genuinely is Sarah Huckabee Saunders. What the fuck? Could you imagine her christening? So they're going to be down at some Baptist church in the deep south. There's going to be the pastor there, yeah? And he's going, "Hi, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to welcome another young child into the Lord's care. And we're going to bring that young child into the Lord's care as I baptize thee, Sarah. What the fuck? Are you fucking serious? Huckabee, is that like a kids program you used to watch or something? I can only go ahead with this baptism if I can be sure that the word Huckabee has nothing to do with Satanism or some sort of like weird sexual act or something. It's got to be appropriate. I don't think it'll be a sexual act, to be fair, because I think I know most of those. And I've tried quite a few too. Which reminds me, boys, choir practice tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock. Now, I have a suspicion that all of these middle-aged white guys are trying to make up for stuff. I'm pretty sure I've worked out what Trump's is. Trump has definitely got the world's smallest penis, okay? It's, all right, I think I can prove it. Melania always looks like this. I think I can see it. I think, oh no. It's not just Americans though, is it? We've got too many white guys in the UK, sorry, not in the UK, in Europe, who are making up for their inadequacies by running countries. Boris Johnson being one of them. I mean, seriously, you must be covering something up to want to have that many children with that many different women and not tell anyone about it. Now, did you know Johnson is actually American slang for a penis? Yeah. And I think that's quite ironic, because Johnson in the UK has become slang for cunt. So, he's potentially the only person in the world that covers both and actually fulfills the duties as per the job description. Emmanuel Macron's another one. You know the guy that runs France, yeah? Something that all these people have in common as well, by the way. How tall do you think Boris Johnson is? 5'9". Below average. Emmanuel Macron, 5'8". Now Macron's the one that always turns up at the G7 summit, really sharply dressed, and he wants to be the epitome of the French male. I'm dressed superbly, I'm an amazing lover. Now, the thing is, that was me impersonating him, so yeah. Thanks for the thought though. And the thing about him is, at 29 years old, he married a 54-year-old woman. Now, if that was flipped, and it was a 54-year-old guy marrying a 29-year-old woman, no big deal. However, he gets a bit pissed off when journalists keep raising this. But I sort of thought, right, so the two things the French are really, well, three I suppose if you include food, but the two things the French are really, as guys, impeccable about is their appearance and this international reputation they have as a brilliant lover. And what he did was he married a woman who was obviously going through the menopause and didn't want him anywhere fucking near her, especially in bed at night. And then there's just one more, isn't there? Putin. Good old Vladimir Putin. I mean, how many things is that guy trying to make up for? He's 5'7". You could pass it off as that, couldn't you? I think it would have been a lot easier if he just admitted his sexuality openly, and then he wouldn't need to go into Ukraine, would he? What? All the fucking photographs, they were even taking the piss at the G7 this week about taking their tops off and everything. And Putin responded publicly. I don't know if they would do it, but if they did, it would be ugly. But can you imagine being his press guy? I can't do a Russian accent, but it might be something like, I want a horse, a big horse, a horse with a big schlong. I will sit on the horse, you will take my photograph. I will wrestle bears. Yeah, he's kind of, I think he's got some French in his background as well, okay? Now, I know I am part of that group. I am a white, middle-aged man in a position of privilege, and I'm heterosexual. And I think the thing for me is that the more of us that stick up for the more of those, the better things will get. And at the moment, I just kind of think that we need one another. Because it is so shit around the world, isn't it? We've got a recession to look forward to, increased fuel prices, higher unemployment. Steve, it's a comedy show. And the trouble is, I think this country's never been more us than ever before. So the one thing that we do need is to have each other. And I'm really lucky. I've got half a dozen amazing friends here tonight who've supported me through an awful lot of stuff. I haven't known any of them. Well, Getty maybe a bit longer, it would be him, wouldn't it? But like for the last 2 years. But the thing is, I've found my tribe. If you haven't found your tribe yet, find your tribe. And make sure you stick with them, because they'll stick with you. Now, I'm at this point now where I'm thinking, all that preparation I did, and I didn't come up with an ending. Actually, that was going to be part of my original act, because I'm on 100 milligrams of sertraline every day, and there's a side effect to it. Which stupid fucker invented a antidepressant that stops you having an orgasm? I'll leave you with that. Thank you very much.